You are not fighting alone. For even when you cannot yet see it, there are forces of protection standing on your side and hearts that believe in you more deeply than you have ever believed in yourself. I know there were times when you thought every burden rested solely upon your shoulders, when it seemed that no one truly understood the silent battles you faced each day. You walked through darkness by yourself, gathered your strength after disappointment, and reminded yourself to continue even when the road ahead was no longer clear. But my beloved child, the loneliness you felt was not the whole truth. There are things being preserved for you beyond what human eyes can reach. Doors that have been guarded against harmful influences, and dangerous paths that quietly closed before you could set foot upon them. You are still standing today, not only because of your own strength, but because I have never left you in any moment. I saw the times you tried to appear calm while everything within you was trembling. I saw you rise on mornings when you did not even understand how you could continue. Some people looked only at your outward appearance and assumed that you were always strong. But they did not know how fiercely you had to fight to preserve gentleness, trust, and hope. I knew all of it. The unspoken sighs, the tears you quickly wiped away, and the moments when you quietly wondered whether you had enough strength to keep going were never overlooked. At the very times when you thought no one knew what you were enduring, I was still there, supporting you in ways so gentle that you mistook them for coincidence. You once felt a quiet pull within, urging you not to give up, even when your mind offered 100 reasons to let go. At times, you could not understand why. After so much hurt, you still wanted to believe. Or why, after so many closed doors, you could still hope for another beginning. This was not naivety or weakness. It was the light I placed within you, a steadfast strength that refused to allow darkness to speak the final word. When you were nearly empty, that strength quietly kept you from falling. When you stood at a crossroads and did not know which direction to choose, it reminded you to pause, listen, and wait for clarity. You have been guided far more than you realize and protected from far more than you ever imagined. There are people who saw value in you even when you could not see it yourself. They recognized the sincerity in the way you treated others, the perseverance with which you continued doing what was right, and your ability to bring peace even while passing through storms of your own. They may not always have spoken about it, but your presence gave them courage. A word you spoke casually may have kept someone from despair. A small act of kindness that seemed insignificant to you may have become the answer to one of the most difficult days of their life. You often focus only on what you have not yet accomplished and forget that your life has quietly touched many others. I want you to understand that their faith in you is not based upon perfection, but upon the qualities you preserved through every trial. Yet there is a trust deeper than any human recognition. I trust the goodness I planted within you. I know who you can become when you are no longer bound by the past, when you stop seeing yourself through judgment, and when you no longer allow failure to define your worth. I see within you someone who can rise not only for themselves, but also lift others. I see your ability to remain calm during chaos, the wisdom being formed through every encounter, and the compassion deepened by all that you have endured. This is why I will not allow you to remain in a version of yourself smaller than your true capacity. The pressures you endured were not proof that you had been abandoned. Often, they were the place where precious qualities were formed. Patience cannot mature if every answer comes immediately. Courage cannot be recognized if you have never had to walk while trembling. Discernment is not produced through comfortable days alone. It grows after you have seen beautiful appearances conceal insincere intentions. You learn to observe instead of trusting too quickly, to wait instead of rushing, and to step away from arguments that could produce nothing good. Each lesson is shaping you into someone who can be entrusted with more. Not because you never become weary, but because you know how to recover your balance and refuse to let exhaustion turn you bitter. I do not want you to believe that you must always appear strong in order to be worthy of trust. Maturity does not mean you are never allowed to feel weak, rest, or seek help. Some days, courage is simply admitting that you are tired and allowing yourself to stop. At certain times, the wisest step is not to try harder, but to lay down what never belonged to your responsibility. You were not called to carry everyone upon your shoulders, solve every problem, or remain in every relationship because you fear disappointing others. Those who truly believe in you will not require you to become exhausted in order to prove your faithfulness. They will respect your boundaries, value your presence, and understand that you also need support. Therefore, be cautious of the belief that every trial requires you to suffer in silence. There are battles you are called to walk through, but there are also battles you need to leave. There is perseverance that produces maturity, and there is attachment that only allows pain to continue. I am teaching you to distinguish between them. You do not need to prove strength by remaining in an environment that continually drains your peace. Nor must you hold on to people who only receive and never value what you give. True strength is sometimes revealed through a calm refusal, a timely departure, or the decision not to return to a place where you repeatedly lost yourself. Recently, you may have felt as though you were being refined without pause. Things that once seemed easy became heavy. Relationships shifted, and many plans failed to unfold as you expected. I know you wondered whether you were being pulled backward, but my beloved child, perhaps you were not being pulled backward at all. You were simply being separated from what could not accompany you into the next stage. When I desire to place new responsibility in your hands, I also reveal what is consuming your strength. When I desire to expand your vision, I make your former limitations clear. Therefore, do not panic when changes appear. Examine them peacefully and ask whether I may be using them to return you to the right direction. There will come a time when you realize that some of your greatest protection came in the form of rejection. Someone who failed to return your love may have spared you years of emotional deprivation. An opportunity that did not succeed may have kept you from entering a place where outward success would have required the sacrifice of peace. A delayed plan may have prevented an immature decision. When you look back with clearer eyes, you will understand that not everything you failed to receive was a loss. Some things were withheld because I saw what you could not see. While you wept over a closed door, I was protecting you from the room behind it. Now I want you to stop seeing yourself as someone merely trying to survive. You passed through that season and gained precious lessons from it. But you do not need to carry a defensive posture into every day ahead. You can begin to live, build, and receive. You can open your heart to sincere people without questioning every gesture. And you can rejoice without constantly fearing that something good will disappear. The protection surrounding you was not only intended to preserve you from disaster, but also to create a safe enough space for the gifts within you to develop. I did not keep you alive through difficult seasons only so that you would remain permanently in survival mode. I want you to enter the peace of one who knows they are no longer alone. When tomorrow brings new responsibilities, remember that you do not have to accomplish everything through your own strength. You may ask, learn, admit that you do not know, and receive help from trustworthy people. A truly strong person is not someone who never needs anyone, but someone humble enough to know when to open their heart. I will send you connections that do not come to exploit your devotion, but to build alongside you. They will recognize your potential while respecting your weariness. Believe in your ability without forcing you to become a perfect image. Recognize them by the peace they bring, their consistency, and the way they honor boundaries. My beloved child, lift your head and continue. What stands with you is greater than the fear trying to make you retreat. I carried you through heavy nights, guided you through places that appeared to have no way out, and placed within you an endurance that adversity could not remove. Those who believe in you are not mistaken when they see goodness in you. But even more importantly, you must begin believing in what I am nurturing within you. Do not become proud, but do not continue denying your value. Do not assume that humility means making your gifts smaller. Use them with kindness, awareness, and responsibility. You have not been forgotten, abandoned in battle, or required to open every door with exhausted hands. Certain things were stopped before they came near you. Harmful words lost their power before reaching you, and paths are being prepared even though you cannot yet see the destination. Trust while remaining discerning. Be courageous without becoming impulsive, and remain gentle without allowing anyone to wound you carelessly. I am with you, and my protection does not make you weak. It gives you the freedom to grow into the person you were always meant to become. Walk forward in peace, because you aren't only being preserved, you are also being prepared to become a source of support, hope, and gentle light for those you will meet along the road ahead. Do not allow fear to keep you in a place where your season has ended, because what I am leading you toward is far greater than what you are trying to hold behind you. Fear will always speak of loss, what may no longer remain, the discomfort of beginning again, and possibilities that are not guaranteed. But faith does not ask you to live according to those dark scenarios. Faith reminds you that departure does not necessarily signify failure, and that a closed door does not mean abandonment. Some places once sheltered you during a season, but are no longer wide enough to contain the person you are becoming. Some connections once gave you a sense of security, but now they make your steps heavy. I do not want you to insult the past with bitterness, but neither do I want you to worship it by refusing to move forward. Be grateful for what once supported you, and then leave courageously when the time has come. You are not being removed from the familiar without purpose. I am moving you toward better soil, where the seeds within you can take deep root and grow in ways that were previously impossible. You wondered why you worked so hard and still saw limited results, why your abilities had no room to emerge, and why all your efforts seemed enough only to maintain rather than expand. This was not because you lacked value or because your labor was meaningless. Sometimes even a good seed cannot grow in depleted soil. I do not condemn the seed, nor do I curse the soil. I simply know when it is time to move the seed to a place with sufficient light, nourishment, and space. This change may hurt, because every uprooting feels unstable. But my beloved child, I am not taking you from the old place to abandon you halfway. I am bringing you to a place where the life within you can expand. You do not have to see the entire picture before taking the first step. I know you often want to understand every detail before deciding. You want to know exactly where you are going, who will accompany you, and how everything will unfold. Caution is not wrong, but do not allow the need for control to prevent you from responding to guidance. Some paths become clear only after you begin walking. Some doors appear only after you leave the former hallway. Some answers will not come while you remain still, because they are waiting ahead of you. I am not asking you to act without thought, but neither do I want you to delay forever simply because nothing has been guaranteed. Observe the peace. Examine consistent signs, and act wisely. Once you recognize a direction as right, do not allow old voices to pull you back merely because they feel more familiar. The place to which I am leading you is not merely a new house or location. It is also a way of living in which you can breathe deeply without constantly feeling the need to defend yourself. It is a space where you can rest without guilt, work without being consumed, and build lasting things without fearing that everything will suddenly collapse. The outward form of this change may involve moving, changing work environments, leaving a relationship, or entering a different rhythm of life. But the deeper work I am creating is stability within you. A beautiful house cannot bring peace if your inner world remains filled with noise. A new environment cannot free you if you carry every old pattern with you. Therefore, while I change your circumstances, I am also changing the way you think, respond, and understand your value. There is a gift prepared ahead, something you once prayed for and nearly stopped hoping to receive. You believed it had disappeared because too much time had passed. But not everything that arrives slowly has been lost. Some blessings must wait until you are mature enough to receive them without pride, steady enough to preserve them without panic, and wise enough to use them without losing sight of their purpose. I have not forgotten what you quietly desired during nights no one knew about. I have not ignored the sincere dreams you laid down because you feared another disappointment. But I am not only preparing the gift, I am also preparing the person who will receive it. When these two preparations meet, you will understand why it could not arrive sooner, and why waiting helped you become someone capable of preserving what you once barely dared to imagine. When you enter the right environment, things that have been stagnant will begin to move more quickly. This will not be because life suddenly becomes easy overnight, but because you will no longer waste energy resisting a place that no longer aligns with you. Much of your strength was used simply to endure. Explain yourself, defend yourself, and force yourself to fit into a structure that had become too small. When you are released from that pressure, your creativity, focus, and growth will become more visible. Opportunities that once seemed distant will become easier to recognize. Suitable connections will appear more naturally. Your abilities will have room to be seen. Then you will no longer believe that I slowed you down. You will realize that I prevented you from running too far down a road that could never take you where you needed to go. The tension you have recently felt is not always a sign that you are moving in the wrong direction. Sometimes it appears when a part of you has grown beyond the limitations surrounding it, like a garment that once fit but has now become tight. Your current environment may no longer suit your growth. You begin to need more room to think, greater sincerity in relationships, and more freedom to live according to the values that have formed within you. Do not regard this need as ingratitude. Growth often changes what you can tolerate, what you desire to pursue, and what you are no longer willing to compromise. I am not telling you to despise the former place. I am asking you to be honest, that you can no longer shrink yourself to fit what no longer has the capacity to nourish you. Yet, do not use the call to move forward as an excuse for impulsive action. True guidance does not require you to hurry so recklessly that wisdom is ignored. Prepare what needs to be prepared. Consider your practical responsibilities and place each step upon a firm foundation. I am not asking you to destroy everything in one moment, merely to prove that you have faith. Sometimes the first step is simply organizing, reviewing your finances, learning about a new place, fulfilling an old commitment, or opening yourself to a necessary conversation. Mature faith is not opposed to preparation. It helps you prepare without allowing fear to paralyze you. Move with awareness. But do not use endless preparation as an excuse never to move. I do not want you to believe that every second of hesitation causes your blessing to disappear. What belongs to you is not so fragile that one moment of uncertainty will cause it to be taken away. I understand that you have fears needing care, ties that must be loosened, and practical matters requiring attention. But there is a difference between caution and fear-based delay. Caution helps you walk steadily. Fear continually finds additional reasons to remain. Be honest with yourself. If you are waiting for necessary information, seek it. If you need support, speak. But if the essential answers are already clear and you still refuse to move because you fear losing the familiar, remember that false security can also become a cage. You are not alone in this transition. I will remain with you through every decision, both when you are strong and when you are uncertain. I am not disappointed because you have questions, nor do I withdraw because you sometimes tremble. Bring that uncertainty to me instead of allowing it to become the final voice. I will lead you through peace. Wise counsel. Doors opening at the right time, and even obstacles that reveal what is not yet suitable. There may be times when your plan must be adjusted, but adjustment does not mean the journey has failed. A person who is being guided may still need to pause, examine, and change direction. What matters is not that you never waver, but that you always return to clarity rather than allowing panic to take control. The right doors will not require you to betray what is good within you. They may demand effort, learning, and courage, but they will not continually rob you of dignity. Healthy opportunities will open in ways that allow you to grow rather than merely exhaust yourself. The support you need may come through people you never expected, through an encounter that appears accidental, or through a small resource arriving at the right time. Do not despise help because it does not resemble the form you imagined. I often begin with simple things: an introduction, a piece of information, a new skill, or someone willing to listen may become an important link in your transition. Therefore, release your hand from what has reached its end, but do so with gratitude and peace. You do not need to burn the old bridge to prove that you are determined to cross to the other side. Leave with kindness when possible. Complete what belongs to your responsibility, and guard your heart from bitterness. What you carry within will affect the way you enter the new place. If you leave in anger, you may unintentionally rebuild the same kind of disorder somewhere else. But if you leave carrying lessons, forgiveness, and clear boundaries. You will enter the future upon a cleaner foundation. True transition does not merely change the scenery around you, it changes the way you exist within that scenery. My beloved child, what lies ahead does not require you to become a complete stranger to yourself. It only invites you to live more fully as the person I have always seen. Do not remain because you fear losing familiarity when that same familiarity is preventing your growth. Trust that where I am leading you contains enough room for your abilities, peace, and sincere dreams to develop. Walk one step at a time, without rushing but also without retreating. What you leave behind has completed its role, while what waits ahead will help you understand why this movement was necessary. I am walking with you through every door, every turning point, and every uncertain moment. When you enter the new land with wisdom, courage, and an open heart, you will realize that you have not lost the place where you belong. You are simply being led toward the place where you can truly take root, grow, and bear fruit. The strength now present within you could never have been produced by easy days, because it was formed only when you were pushed to your limit and still chose not to surrender. Comfort may give you time to rest, but trials teach you how to remain standing when every familiar support is gone. You passed through circumstances that once made you believe you could endure no more. Walked through long nights when every minute felt like a battle, and continued many times with nothing but a small thread of hope. Now, even though the scenery around you may not yet look different, you are no longer standing in the same position. Something profound has shifted within. You have become someone who can look at what once frightened you without immediately turning away. Face uncertainty without allowing it to steal your peace, and continue even before receiving any assurance from circumstances. I saw the times when you approached the edge of surrender. I know there were days when you did not merely want to stop a task or leave a situation, but wanted to release every hope because your effort seemed meaningless. You wondered why you should continue when no one saw you, or why you should keep believing when everything before your eyes seemed to deny that faith. Yet, in the middle of exhaustion, a quiet voice remained within, asking you to stay a little longer. Wait one more day, and not end your journey at the most painful point. You may have thought it was only survival instinct or a passing thought, but I placed that gentle reminder in your heart when you no longer had enough strength to encourage yourself. I lifted you through a silent presence, not loud, yet strong enough to keep you from sinking. The storm you passed through was not permitted to erase you, but to reveal the endurance you had never known you possessed. When the winds rose, you discovered how deeply your foundation had been built. When every promise appeared to show no sign of fulfillment, you learned that you could remain faithful without immediate reward. You had to learn how to hold on to what was right when visible outcomes appeared unfair. How not to change your character merely because others treated you wrongly. And how not to use pain as a reason to wound innocent people. You had many opportunities to become bitter, yet still tried to preserve kindness. You could have answered with anger, but instead stepped back so that you would not speak words you would later regret. Those choices may have appeared small, but they proved that circumstances no longer had the authority to decide who you would become, because you remained faithful to what was true during your most difficult hours. A transition was set in motion that cannot be reversed. Do not look around and assume that everything is still standing still. The most important changes often begin where your eyes cannot immediately see them. The way you think is different. You no longer easily believe every voice that makes you feel inferior. The way you respond has changed as well. You know how to create a pause between what happens and the choice you make. Instead of allowing your first emotion to pull you into impulsive decisions, even the way you walk through this journey is different. Because you no longer move like someone asking life for permission to exist. You are learning to walk with the composure of one who knows they have overcome more than others can see. In the past, when an old wound was touched, you often rushed to defend yourself, explain, or prove that you did not deserve to be treated that way. One comment could remain in your mind for days. Someone's silence could make you believe you had been rejected. But now you are learning to respond from stability rather than from pain that has not yet healed. You understand that not every misunderstanding needs an explanation. Not every provocation deserves an answer. And not everyone leaving is a loss that must be prevented. Maturity does not make you cold. It teaches you where to place love, whom to trust, and how to preserve peace as something precious. Circumstances that once caused you to lose your balance may still appear, but they will no longer find the former version of you available to control. The fire you passed through did not destroy the goodness within you. It only caused what no longer belonged to fall away. It removed the need to be approved by everyone. It weakened the fear that one closed door meant the future had ended. It helped you understand that your worth does not increase through praise or decrease through rejection. After the trial, you did not become someone who had never been hurt, but someone who no longer allows hurt to govern every decision. You still carry memories, but those memories are no longer chains. You retain the lessons, but you do not need to keep the bitterness. This is true refinement, not forgetting everything that happened, but being able to remember without being pulled back to the place where you once fell.